Hello, everyone. Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one show on the planet. I'm Emily Mae. I'm so happy to see your lovely faces. This is our news edition, and I know many of us wanted to be together today, and so I wanted to introduce Stephanie Hardy of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast. Hi, Stephanie. We were hanging out all weekend, weren't we?
Yes, we were, and it's good to see you that you made it safely home and everybody's, in their right place and in their right mind. So we're good.
Yeah, we're good. We had you guys got out a little bit early because we got stuck in a little hurricane weather.
Oh wow!
But we got home, so it was all good. But I also have Katrina here with me. Katrina Blake, one of our new hosts for Women's Wrestling Talk. Hi, Katrina. How are you?
I'm good. New York got a bit of the hurricane, so I was okay, but a few friends of mine had house issues with the flooding. So I'm just glad that most of the people I talked to, they were fine, and I'm just great, because I don't think we've ever seen anything that crazy in New York, the level of water and stuff. So
I know. I mean, I'm glad you're doing okay. Your family, friends are safe. We're kind of having a lot of things happening around the world. We want everyone to be okay. Yeah. We all have to care for each other and be there for each other. And so I'm happy that I have the two of you on here with me, so we can kind of talk women's wrestling news. And this is gonna be a little tough for me to get through. I wanted to start off by, all of us have heard the news. We want to send our condolences to the family of Daphne, WCW TNA star, of her passing. It's been amazing watching the whole wrestling community come together. They rallied around her last night. They, unfortunately, we heard the breaking news today. And, I've been kind of just seeing all of my feed. I had to take a break because there's so many stories coming out of what she meant to the wrestling industry, and then what she just meant to people in general, just not just as a wrestler, but as lovely person. And so I don't know if you all want to say anything, but I just, I want to say just in general, if anyone is having feelings, if they need help, know that there are services out there that can help. Mental health is very important, and it's something that we all have to deal with. We all have to handle. And know that people love you, know that people are there for you. And there is a way to have that support system. So I know I want to start off with that. Is there, Stephanie or Katrina, do you want to say anything?
I had to take a bit of a break from, especially Twitter, because I'm seeing it a lot on there. I did have to kind of remove myself a bit just because it was a lot. But I loved her as a wrestler, and I was very unfortunate when I saw. I didn't see the live, but I did hear about everybody reacting to it, and I just was praying that when I got up today, she'll be okay. So it sucked. It was wow, okay. So I just, especially since I guess September is Suicide Prevention Month, I do want to say, even if I don't know you well, I'm a great listener, and as I was telling Stephanie before we went live, I tend to keep my phone on now just in case somebody needs to reach me for whatever reason. Even if it's just I need to talk about something, call me. If I don't, I would say call me only because sometimes I won't get the text messages. But if you call me, I'll answer the phone. And then we can just sit and cry or laugh or something. So if you need that, I am putting it out there for everybody else. I mean, if I don't know you well, it is perfectly fine to contact me if you need to talk, because people are there for you. And I think people should know that people love them, and that there are support systems out there, and they shouldn't be alone. So
that's a great point. And I was talking to a friend last night, and I had a feeling, and I was I told her, I was I leave my phone on all the time. We all have our phones. We're always attached. I was like, 3:00 in the morning. If you need to call me, if something happens, call me, text me, call me multiple times if you don't answer. Like there's what call my husband, call someone that is right there that can get me, and I'm sorry, Stephanie. And it's hard when you're in that dark place, and like we don't need to get into it, we don't need to go into that, but it's hard to see that there is something at the end, a light at the end of the tunnel, right? So again, it's a good reminder, Katrina, that like we all need to be there for each other. We all need to be kind. Social media can be horrible. Online, everything can just feel so overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so, and I want like all of I know people that watch women's wrestling talk. If you all need us for anything, tweet at us, private message us. Like we do all this. We talk about wrestling. We talk about, because all of this means so much to us. All of this connects each other. I got connected with Stephanie and Katrina and all of these wonderful hosts because we love this business. We love the people in it. So we have to remind ourselves that like to support each other and love each other and be there for each other. So
there is something that I do want to say. I'm sorry that my tears just kind of.
No, I want, this is what this is for. If we don't get to any news items and we just talk about this and someone sees this and is okay, then that will make my night.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily know Daphne personally, but I know people who did know her, and here in Alabama, and it's terrible to see people who I'm connected with, in the wrestling community suffering. And I hate it when any human is suffering, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, in any way, shape, or form. And I did see a lot of the reports of what was going on with her yesterday, but just like Katrina, I was hoping that I was going to wake up and everything was going to be fine. But sadly it wasn't. And something that I try to do on my show is just try to always be an encouraging voice and to tell people that you matter, and that someone out there does love you, and that there's always light even though there is darkness. I deal with a lot of darkness. There is so much that goes on, in people's lives that people may not talk about because they have this front that they put up, that they try to be strong. And sometimes it's hard to be strong. Sometimes you need to take some time to really just let yourself feel those things. And when they get overwhelming, to just reach out to somebody, whether it be a family member, a friend, a counselor, or a significant other, anyone that you just need to reach out to and just talk to, because you need to because all of you who are watching this right now, you just need to know that somebody somewhere loves you. And if nobody ever tells you enough, we love you and we are here for you. And if there is ever anything that you need from any of us, you can reach us and, just let us know, what's going on, what you're feeling, because even though wrestling is this beautiful, magical world where so much beauty can happen, it can also get really dark. And the people who are in this world are human beings. Just because they're on television doesn't mean that they don't go through stuff. Okay, like they're all human beings. We're all human beings.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, we all have to. Yeah. We're all, even though we're telling stories on a large platform, or and we're in the public eye, it doesn't mean that we don't go through things. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important to know that. I feel like we put people on a pedestal, and we put people in like a higher level of like that they're not human, they're not, and we need to realize we're all the same, we're all connected. And that was beautiful, Stephanie. You're gonna make me cry again.
Yeah, that's just what we do. We cry together.
But Stephanie and I are we do cry a lot. But it's a good thing. That's my release. So
I'm amongst my kind because I'm a crier. So
oh my goodness! Well, we have the best group with us today. So I think I'm going to move on to other news items just to like talk about some fun things that happened this weekend. Talk about all kind of this new women's I'm gonna call it like women's empowerment movement that totally succeeded this weekend. Stephanie and I were there in person. So one of the news stories that I saw was that Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks reacted to NWA's Empowerrr, and it was a historic night for this brand, and so I love some of the quotes and tweets coming out. Ronda Rousey said that she would have paid double to watch this pay-per-view. And holy freaking moly, those ladies had such a hard match to follow and not only maintained the momentum of the night, but accelerated it. By the way, Red Velvet still managed to stand out amongst everyone, kicking all kinds of, ass. Was so damn impressive. #Empowerrr. And then, what a pay-per-view, so worth the money. I honestly would have paid double. Congrats, I am Chelsea Green and all the ladies who put on an amazing show tonight. So we had some, and then Sasha Banks also tweeted out, "Thank you, Mickie James," with some blue heart and fire emojis. So Stephanie, you and I were there. We saw this magic happen in person. And so how do you feel about these WWE stars, watching this pay-per-view?
I think it says a lot about the power of women's wrestling as a whole. When women from other companies can, sort of transfer their supportive energy onto another company, doing something that's basically important for the totality of women's wrestling. And I was really happy to see what they said, especially Sasha, because Sasha at one point did tweet out months ago, I believe around the time Mickie got released from WWE, that she wanted to possibly produce another all-female show herself. So it didn't necessarily surprise me as much when she did, say that. When she did say thank you to Mickie James for it. Now, Ronda Rousey did surprise me, but at the same time, it doesn't either, because she's such a trailblazer herself with mixed martial arts and wrestling as well. That it resonated well with her. So I'm really happy to see so many women, even in AEW, sort of just come out and support NWA Empowerrr and the event that it was.
What I loved is that, like, when you looked at kind of the Twitter feed over that night in the course of the weekend, is that, and even in our interviews that we had, Stephanie, over the weekend, there was so much support in the room. There was, and on social media, there was so much outpouring of like different promotions and different people from all walks of life coming to show their support and say that they were watching, which I find really kind of heartwarming and exciting. And it shows that, like Mickie James said in previously, that like, and Gail Kim did as well, like women's wrestling is a draw. It does earn money, and we're making it happen. Katrina, what was your kind of looking from kind of the outside in and watching everything unfold this weekend? What were your thoughts as people started reacting to Empowerrr?
It's amazing. I love women's wrestling, and I'm a firm believer of proving people wrong. With if people make like assumptions and think you can't, I'm a firm believer in like just knocking all those assumptions down. So people were questioning, and I'm like, listen, we got some people who are like, were amazing, and other promotions working on this. Like Gail Kim's one of my absolute favorite wrestlers. I tell people this all the time. I was sad she wasn't in WWE longer, because at the time that was the promotion I watched. So just to see everything that everybody was doing, and while there were matches, you can still see the respect that the opponents had for each other. You can just see that in the ring. And then Awesome Kong, who's absolutely amazing, and just to know that and just could have been in the room with her. And I know that had to be like amazing for you guys, just to be in the room with somebody who's accomplished so much in her career, to say, well, this is to let me announce my retirement in an event that is meant to also showcase all the new women coming up, or all the women who are currently kicking ass in wrestling right now. So that it was an amazing thing. Like Mickie James, she did her thing. in getting this together. And I'm just glad that we got to see this. And I'm hoping that, other promotions will make an effort of, showcasing the women they have on the roster, and, not making it, as people like to say, the women's wrestling's the bathroom break and the ridiculous comments like that, where clearly when you have matches where we got earlier in the year, we got Sasha and Bianca main eventing WrestleMania, and then like a few months later, we get a whole pay-per-view dedicated to women just doing what they do best. And that was amazing. So it was a nice thing to bring in for 2021, considering how like yucky things was last year.
Yeah,
it's just such a nice change of pace it's just a nice thing to see. And so
yeah,
I'm glad that and I hope they can do this again. Next year.
They're talking about it because they have the Women's Invitational Cup, right? You can't just make a whole tournament with the Invitational Cup and not have it happen every year.
Right.
So also there was a moment, Stephanie, I know I believe it ended the pay-per-view. We saw it in the audience, but it was Chelsea Green. She won the Invitational Tournament Cup. She held the sign, right, that women's wrestling is professional wrestling. And so they were talking over the course of the night about changing that language. And I think that's an important point and distinction to make. And we all are still we're still reeling from that night. So Katrina, you mentioned Awesome Kong coming out announcing her retirement was a big moment for you. Stephanie, I got to ask you, because we both had moments. I have my moments that I loved in my matches. What was your moment? I know we're kind of like steering away from news a little bit, but maybe just briefly share with everyone what was your like one moment that kind of.
Well, the one moment that resonated with me the most was seeing Tootie Lynn make her NWA debut amongst the St. Louis
hometown
crowd, because she was from there.
Yeah.
And just to see everybody go crazy for her in that moment just meant the world to me. And then to see her go and basically take Chelsea Green to the limit and almost win the thing, that meant the world to me, because I'm just like, man, who is this girl? Because this is the first time I had ever seen her. So I'm just looking at her, kick off this butt and be fierce in the ring and just take it, to take all these women to their limit. Like, you got people like Kiera Hogan in this match, Lady Frost, so many great women in this match. And you have this new girl taking Chelsea Green, to this limit. Even though she didn't win, it's like she still won the night. And then seeing her family with her shirts on, supporting her and everything, that was like one of the best moments to me that stuck out of all of the whole night. But that one really just stuck with me the most.
Yeah, that was a powerful moment. I think I might be with it. I think the match that really stood out to me was probably the Camille and Layla Hirsch match. I think that was like just, I've seen both of them work for so long, and that just, I couldn't keep my eyes off of what was happening. It was incredible. And then I think Awesome Kong moment had me crying. And I think the reception of Melina as well, when she came out, I think was so emotional, because just the support around her was amazing to see. And she talked a little bit about that in some of the interviews that when I chatted with her. She talked about that reception and how she wasn't expecting it at all. So it was very magical. I hope Empowerrr continues to be a thing, continues every year, maybe every month. No, I don't know. Every year. Let's chalk it up to every year. Then we can all go and enjoy it. Let me know, you guys. I know it's the news segment, but if you all watched Empowerrr, let me know in the chat what your favorite moment or match was, because I want to know. I'm curious. So we're gonna pivot a little bit, because Stephanie and I were chatting, because I saw this story and then we both thought about it. Everyone loves The Rock, right? Mm-hmm. We all love The Rock, right? Who doesn't love The Rock? So to have a little bit of fun, you saw all over social media that The Rock has a doppelganger. So not only CNN is reporting, but we have all of the wrestling journalists reporting that last week, Alabama Patrol Lieutenant Eric Fields went viral after people noticed his uncanny resemblance to the Jungle Cruise star. The story made its way to Johnson, who tweeted on Tuesday about it, posting side-by-side pictures of himself and Fields. Johnson wrote, "Oh shit, wow." We're cursing a lot on today's episode of the news. Both men are smiling and posing the same way. Have you guys seen this photo? Did you guys see this? And then so then The Rock continued, "Guy on the left is way cooler. Stay safe, brother, and thank you for your service. One day we'll drink Terramana, and I need to hear all of your Rock stories. I know you got 'em." So I have to say, it was the perfect photo. They both like had their bicep going. They both were like doing the smile, the dimpled smile, the lean. I found it very, very entertaining. Did you all love this?
Yes, I did. And I also love the fact that he's from Alabama. You know, shout out to my home state.
Are you going to track him down? Are you going to track him down? Try to get a picture with the patrol man, The Rock?
Oh my gosh! Like I almost have a mind to, because it's just like how do you see, like, you just don't see stuff like that every day. Like I almost have a mind to try to find him and have him, and even have him on my show. Like if The Rock ever comes down here, like to actually meet him, I want to see that. And like be a witness to that happening and possibly talk to them. Like that would be amazing. I'm just putting that out there.
You're putting it out there.
Alabama.
You should get a picture with him and then tweet The Rock and say, "Hey, let's get some tequila together because you all need some tequila because it makes things better."
Yes, we have plenty of bars here in Birmingham.
So this is a non-news question because I can't help it. Have you guys found your doppelganger yet?
No.
Well, I have a twin brother, so it's always weird when people ask that question because I'm a twin. So we don't look exactly alike because he's a boy and all, but I was told, I mean, I saw pictures, I guess, side by side, like when I was like 3 or 4, I kind of favored like Raven Simone at like a point when I was like the same age as her. And I was like, okay, I kind of see why people would have thought that, because like the hairstyles, the outfits of the 80s, 90s. But I don't think I've found anybody who looks like me like currently. So I think I would be a little weirded out by that.
Yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the closest thing to a doppelganger I have is maybe my mother, and that's it.
Aww, that's good.
That's it. Just my mom.
That's special. That's good.
Yeah.
A few people have told me I look like I'm not gonna say it out loud. We'll do that offline. No,
Okay.
but I've had a few people say like interesting resemblances. So we'll move on to our next news topic. So Stephanie, did you? We want to talk about the rumors. So again, it's not news, but it's rumored that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are going to produce the revamped NXT.
Yeah, like I saw that rumor like pop up because a lot of people have been intrigued at where NXT could be going, because of course they had the vignette showing the new logo with all the paint and the colors.
The new logo,
yeah, with a song. It seems like something that might be the new theme song from Wale, who I love personally. So a lot of people liked it, some people didn't. It's sort of half and half right now. So it's looking like with the revamping of NXT, you have the rumor put out there that Vince and Bruce Pritchard might be taking over. And a lot of people on social media, reacted very negatively to it. It's like they're making tweets and different, pictures and stuff paying tribute to NXT and what it was, because they feel like after a certain point, NXT is just going to completely change and it's not going to be the NXT that we know and love it to be. And it's just kind of weird because to me, it's just a rumor. So we don't know if it's really true or not. So I don't know. It's crazy. I feel like we should just wait and see first.
I know. So like I try to not bend rumors on the Women's Wrestling Talk News show because again, there's always articles about something, and until it's confirmed and until we actually know, and we might not ever know, I try to keep it, to the facts. We could always talk like rumor and speculation, but we're not that type of show. But I'm just there's always been an evolution of NXT. There's always been, always a continued changes and improvements and experimentation of what works and what doesn't. They do on all the shows, so we'll just have to wait and see what they do next. Katrina, do you have thoughts on that? On a possible NXT leadership creative change?
I mean, I tell people all the time in all the wrestling groups I'm in, like, you can't take every dirt sheet to like heart all the time because we don't know. If you're not like, in Mr. Man's house and he's giving you personal tidbits, then you're gonna stress yourself out. Like, oh my God, is this true? I'm hoping nobody gets fired. Nobody wants to lose a job, and I'm hoping that, and if that's true about people being on the chopping block, let's hope not. As far as like the new rebranding, like I'm okay with things evolving. So it might not necessarily be a bad thing. Like maybe this is just a fresh new start. Like when we get January 1st of a new year and it's like, oh, a new year to do new things and to kind of change the lives or whatever. So maybe that's what he's doing. Like, I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad thing. They went a different route with going to the USA, and maybe, it'll be better. So, I don't want to assume, like I said, I like NXT, but it might not necessarily be a bad thing. I think people are putting so much negativity on it. And it's like, we don't know what's happening because we're not in Mr. Man's office. So,
exactly. We're only going to speculate.
We have no idea what's going to actually happen.
We're going to continue to circle. Circle around the speculation, and so we'll just wait and see. Like I've always loved NXT, so I'm just like along for the ride and gonna still enjoy it. So I hear you. So let's talk about our next news topic is leading into AEW's All Out pay-per-view, one of their biggest of the year. And there's some really exciting matches, some women's matches, I guess. Well, let's just say matches, not say women's matches. There's the AEW Women's Championship, Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander. And then we have this, can we talk about this 21-woman casino battle royale? Which winner will have a shot for the future title. So this is huge. You guys seen the list of participants? It is crazy exciting. So we have you seen it? I'm going to list them off, and I want to see all your reactions. We have Abaddon. We have Kevin King, which was just announced today. Ooh. We have Layla Hirsch. We have Jamie Hayter. We have Anna Jay was just announced. Stephanie, I'm watching your face because I have your reactions. Yes. Of course, we have Kiera Hogan. We have Hikaru Shida. We have, of course, Thunder Rosa. You can't have it without Thunder Rosa. We have Tay Conti, Julia Hart, Big Swole, The Bunny, Red Velvet, Penelope Ford, Nyla Rose. So I can't even name them all off. We have so many more to go. So it's just like a handful, right? We have 19. 19, right? Mm-hmm. 21. Well, I think 19 were announced. I think we're still waiting on a few more.
Yeah.
So, did you guys watch Dynamite last night? Because we had, Thunder Rosa attacked backstage, which was not cool. But what do you think how do you think this will go down on Sunday? Katrina, do you want to give your insight?
I think they're going to give it their all. I do wish AEW do show their women a lot more than they do. Sometimes I don't feel like they showcase them enough because they got some pretty solid people on their roster. I do wish they would give more. So I feel like knowing that this is going to be a bunch of them at the same time, that they're going to show up and show out. So I'm excited about that. Like, I can't wait to see what they do with each other in the ring and who the winner is going to be. But there's a couple of people in there that I'm like fans of, like really, really big fans of. So I'm interested to see if one of my favorites will take the win. But like I said, I think they're going to show out because like this is their time and we're coming off of NWA too. So you got to continue that momentum of just being amazing, you know, and showing again people that this is all part of professional wrestling, not just like a added piece or like a side piece or a pre-show or stuff like that. So
exactly. I mean, I hope that this moment on Sunday is one of those things where each person has their moment. You know, sometimes I feel like if it's done right, you don't get lost in the shuffle of it all, but you have that moment. Just like with the tournament and NWA this weekend, I feel like everyone had a moment where they could shine, and you know, I feel like those are really hard to do right, and so I'm excited to see how it all unfolds. Stephanie, what do you think?
I'm excited because a lot of the women that you listed I basically saw on Empowerrr, like, and I'm just really excited for them. Like Layla Hirsch, like I want to see how she's going to do, considering she just came off of that. It wasn't a devastating loss because Lord, no, like she was dominant in that match.
She was she dominated that match in so many ways. So I wouldn't say it was devastating.
She powered through that, and I'm just excited to see Kiera Hogan and all the other women that you mentioned in that match. And it's just like, you know, like DeMarco and Katrina both said, it's just like AEW really doesn't do a whole lot to give their women a whole lot of shine. So I'm hoping that with this, you know, it'll be a good opportunity for them to sort of, you know, launch their women's division into the stratosphere with the momentum head from Empowerrr and stuff. So I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, how do you all, so this is like kind of a larger question. There's been a lot of cross promotions, you know, we've had NWA crossover to Impact. We've had NWA also go to AEW. We have kind of like all this cross promotions working together, right? Do you feel like that's helping? Do you feel like that's a good thing?
Yeah. I'm okay with cross promotions because again, if I like a wrestler and I like a promotion and they happen not to be on the main roster, well, now I can see them on the show as well. So I like it like that. I do think as long as all the promotions benefit from it, I'm all for mutually like beneficiary. We're gonna do this to make sure everybody gets some of whatever we're doing. So as long as that's happening and people are getting time to get more matches in, to get more opportunities to be seen to the audience, or just to even prove themselves with the company they're working with, then that's always a good thing. So I'm okay with it. I love it.
Yeah. I love it too. You never know who's going to show up, right? You know, Deanna Purrazzo talked about after Empowerrr, Mickie James shouldn't be coming to Impact anymore, right? It's like, well, Empowerrr's done. You came over to kind of promote Empowerrr and kind of bring that promotion over, so you shouldn't be there anymore. But I have a feeling it's not over. So
it ain't.
Yeah, it ain't. You can catch that. You can catch all of that. There was definitely lots of interviews post Empowerrr where there was a lot of people saying certain things, giving us clues to what might happen next.
Mm-hmm. And it's all intriguing.
Yeah. So Amazon AEW Rampage should display all of the ladies of wrestling talents to shine amazingly. Yeah, we should. Yeah. On every show there should be women, and they should all shine. So that is my wrap up of Women's Wrestling Talk news. Is there anything else, ladies, that you wanted to bring up for all the lovely people watching?
The only thing that I heard a few days ago was that WWE did file for trademark for the Queen of the Ring. I think it's going to be Queen's Crown Tournament. That's the name they're going for the women's version of King of the Ring. And that should be pretty cool. Like, they got some pretty amazing women. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody went by my window again. They got some pretty amazing women on their roster as well. And so I can't wait to see, you know, what they do, who's going to be in the tournament, and if they even bring back some people we haven't seen in a while, kind of like they did with the Royal Rumble. You're like, oh, okay, this is amazing. I haven't seen you in like forever, and here you are. So that'll be cool too. Maybe we'll get some new signees. You know, they signed some people recently, so maybe they will make an appearance. There's so many things you can kind of pull off with this. So I don't know when it's supposed to be, but if they filed for it, I'm assuming hopefully they'll get it done soon. Ish. So that was pretty cool. I was like, yay, finally WWE, get it together.
Yeah, that's cool. Supposedly,
Right.
so supposedly again, you know, throwing it out there, supposedly they were reported back in July that they were planning to hold it later this year, and now I guess on some of these articles I'm seeing, it looks like it might happen in October near another Saudi Arabia show, but again, we won't know really until that's announced.
Right. I think
because it's September. It's September right now, so that's pretty soon.
I think that's a cool opportunity for more women to sort of show what they have to offer, and just being able to fight for something different outside of the title picture. Because something that a lot of people talk about is that, you know, sometimes when it comes to the mid card for their women's division, they're sort of left floundering if they're not in the title picture specifically, or they sort of cluster a lot of women into the title picture. So if they do have this tournament, then it would give a lot of the women something else to do. Even though I would prefer if they did do an Evolution too, but that's another story for another day. So yeah,
definitely. I know there's a lot going on in the wrestling world. We have a busy weekend with AEW coming up, and I'm sure we'll talk about it next week as well. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I really appreciate it. So let you all know, Women's Wrestling Talk is brought to you by Manscaped, which is the best below-the-waist grooming and hygiene product out there. So make sure that you join the 2 million men worldwide who already trust this product with this exclusive offer. So you get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code WWT. And so all you need to do is head to manscaped.com. So that is our new partner. So please go and support them. And again, thank you all so much. Stephanie, where can people find you and follow Hardy Wrestling Podcast?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy, like it says on the screen. And you can also follow the Hardy Wrestling Podcast at Hardy Wrestling Podcast on Instagram and at Hardy Wrestle Pod on Twitter.
Amazing. Thank you, Stephanie. Katrina, where can people follow you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and Cat We Trust. The E is a 3. And if you have YouTube, I am on there as well. So definitely give that a page, a subscriber, or follow, because it's a bunch of like stuff and wrestling stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, that's where you'll find me.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. And if you guys want to follow me, I'm on all social platforms at Emily Mae Heller. And thank you all so much. Follow Women's Wrestling Talk on all social platforms at WWT Talk Pod. We have a website, www.talkpod.com. And thank you for watching Women's Wrestling Talk. My cat decided to say hello. The number one women's wrestling show on the planet. Thank you again so much. And remember, I'm going to put this up here. Thank you all for watching. We are always here for you, remember. And if you ever need a friend or someone to talk to, we're here for you. Thank you all so much. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.